Hey everybody, I'm here today to show you and tell you how to use a Nintendo Switch. I'll be going over a full tutorial with easy instructions that are super easy to follow at home. Let's get right into the video. So like I said, it's a full tutorial. I'm going to go over all of the basic aspects of using a Nintendo Switch easily, but it has easy instructions because I'm going to keep it very simple. We're not going into anything advanced. It's like, if you just want to get started using your Nintendo Switch, this is the video for you. Nothing crazy advanced, just the basics. So very simply, okay, we're going to look at the Nintendo Switch. As you can see, to turn it on and off from sleep mode, you're going to push the power button up here. Okay, so that's how you turn it on and off. It's just loading up. Give it a moment. I'm in my basement, so the Wi-Fi is kind of weak over here. But if you're in handheld mode, you can press A to continue and then press the same button 3 times to actually get into the Switch. Just like that, okay? Now you're in the Switch. This is like your home screen of the Switch. On the top, you'll notice that it shows there's a volume button over here, volume up and volume down. You can press the plus or the minus to adjust the volume. You have a headphone jack over here and a game card slot over here, which I'll go over in a moment. But this is essentially your home screen. From your home screen, you can basically do everything that you want to do. You can access your game library. You can access the settings. You can access, various different menus. So on the bottom here, you have all of your menus essentially. Something you should know about is your sleep mode over there, which you can also put the unit to sleep by pushing the power button again. Okay, you can turn it back on just like we showed you before. We're going to do the same process to start it up. Give it a moment, push A to continue, and then the same button 3 times to get in. You also have your settings menu over here, which with that little gear cog, that little sort of looks similar to like, I guess, a sun, but in reality it's a gear cog. That's your settings menu, your system settings. And then you also have your controller menu over here. And then you have a whole bunch of other things on here like Nintendo Switch Online, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Up at the top, you see your time. You see whether or not you're connected to Wi-Fi and your battery life. Very simple. Now over here, as you can see, and it says here that we are in handheld mode. You can see right over here. That's what that icon means as far as I remember. Now you can see that we have our various, our library of games over here. So right now, when you see the top left corner, it shows a full cartridge. It means that you're ready to play that game. So Just Dance 2022 is inserted in there. I can start the software by pushing A. Because you see down here, it shows your options when it comes to whatever you're dealing with. So with that software, I can start it by pushing A. Okay, as you can see, you can go to the next software, and Hades is the next game over here. It's not inserted. Super Mario 3D All-Stars is not inserted. So because I only have physical games, I don't have any digital games, I only have one cartridge in there, so all of these are going to be unplayable for now until I put the cartridge in there. Okay, so if I wanted to start playing a game that I have the cartridge in, I could push A, and then it's going to ask me which user I want to play the game as, and I'm going to hit A again, and that will start up the software. When you're in the game, you can push the home button over here to go back home. This always brings you back home, and that'll bring you back to this screen. Now the game will remain playing and working in the background, but what you can do at that point is there's going to be an option to close the software, and you can hit X to close the software. X will bring up the close software menu, and then A will allow you to close it. So if a game is running, it's going to say close software, press X. You can press X and a menu will pop up, and then I believe you can push A to actually close the software. But obviously look at the menu, whatever it says, because they might change it over time from the time that I filmed this. You want to see all your games, you can just scroll across. Like I said, these are like the games that I have played. I actually have a big library of games, but I play a game and I beat it. So every single one of these games I've beat at least the final boss. Some of them I'm 100% completed, and some are just the final boss. But basically, I have a big library, but I don't go on to the next game until I beat the previous one. Okay? Right now I'm working on Hades and Just Dance 2022 because I played Just Dance 2022 with my wife and kids. Hades is a game that I play by myself. I'm working on, I'm about probably 80% done this. Okay? And Just Dance 2022, like I said, I play with my family, so whenever we beat it, we beat it. Okay? Whenever we clear the game. And if you have more games than what's shown on the screen, because there's a limited number, you can go to all software and it shows more. In my case, I only have one additional game past Diablo 3, and that's Breath of the Wild. All of these games, on a side note, I would highly recommend all of these games. I would buy all these games and play them again. That's how much I like them. So literally, I'm not the type of person to buy any game. I only buy the games that I really want to play. And all of these I would highly recommend. So we're going to go back. You also have your options here that you can see what you want to do. So I'm going to push B to go back. Okay? So that's how to deal with the home screen, turning the system on and off, and starting a game and exiting a game. Okay, now the other thing I want to talk to you about is, I'm just going to put it to sleep so I don't want to touch the screen by accident. There I am. Hello, there I am in the background. I want to talk to you about portable mode and handheld mode. So handheld mode and TV mode. Handheld mode is what we have it in right now. When you have the Joy-Cons inserted, when it's not docked, basically it's going to be in handheld mode. Meaning, you know, you can turn on the system, you can see the screen on here. Yeah, and you can use the Joy-Cons or you can use a connected controller. This is the dock. Now, when this is attached properly, this is how you access the TV mode, okay? Or like the tabletop mode, whatever you want to call it. At the back here, you can see that there's a little panel. I'm going to open it up like that. And usually I would have this connected to my TV. Basically, you would need to plug it into the power AC adapter and then HDMI out. Okay, and you'd connect the AC adapter, obviously plug in for power, and then HDMI out will go to the TV. And then you'd be able to play, and I'll tell you how. All that you need to do, it's amazing. You could do this mid-game, okay? You could do this like mid-use of the system. You take your system, inside of there, there's a little port. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little port right over there. It's right in the middle. And what you do is the system fits perfectly like that. So I would go ahead and I'd slide it down. Okay, it lines up perfectly and it goes on the port. And if this was connected properly to the power and to the TV via HDMI, then what would happen is the system would now then transmit to the TV. So I would now be playing my game on the TV. Right? And then you can literally, like I said, mid-game, mid-use, you could take it out and then it would transfer to portable mode automatically. Now, it needs to sense that it's connected. So obviously, if all the cords were connected, that would work. Right now, it's not sensing anything because there's no power going to this. So it's not sensing that I'm connecting it, but that's how it would work. Lastly, your Joy-Cons, right? You want to remove them, no problem. A few last things. This is not the only last thing. Your Joy-Cons, you want to remove them, you press and hold down this little release button here and you slide them up. That's how you remove them. You want to put them back in place. You line up the rails, slide them down smoothly. They click into place. Your minus Joy-Con goes on the left when you're looking at the screen of the system. Your plus Joy-Con goes on the right. Okay? Very simple. You can use the Joy-Cons also. In certain games, you can use them like this, right? As separate controllers if you sort of gear them up that way, which is kind of cool. At the top here, we have a game card slot. Okay, very simple. So we can actually open this up. To remove the game card, you just sort of press this down and it pops out of place like that. And then to reinsert the game card, you put it in place like that and you press it down and it clicks in place like that, okay? So once again, to remove it, pop it out like that. To reinsert it, you line it up with the label facing you and the gold contacts that you see here, gold contacts going into the system downwards first, like that. So you push it like this, you line it up, you slide it down, and then you click it into place. Just like that. You can then close the game card slot. And on the back, we actually have a kickstand, which is a really convenient feature. I actually use mine all the time, to be honest with you. Really, really convenient. To open this up, I like to flip my switch upside down. So I have the kickstand at the top. To open this up, my little trick is you get your finger, you go here and you slide all the way towards the middle portion of the kickstand, the part that's closest to the middle. So you go here, you slide it across, and then you pull out like that. That's how you pop it out to get it back in place. Like that. And in addition, underneath the kickstand location, you have your micro SD card slot right there, which I have I believe it's 64 gigabyte, the official Nintendo Switch version of the micro SD card, okay? But the sizing and the type of SD card is completely up to you. That's it. That's how to use the Nintendo Switch in its most basic form. Generally, when you're using it, you know, you would use this to navigate, and then you'd have your buttons over here as a rule of thumb. It all depends on the game that you're playing, but that's generally how to use it. And then you can attach additional controllers. You can use the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. You can disconnect the Joy-Cons and use them disconnected. So like I can hold them like this, use them disconnected. There's even a thing that came with your Nintendo Switch likely, which is like a little controller where you convert the Joy-Cons to almost like a handheld controller. Completely up to you, but that's essentially how to use it in its most basic form. If you like this video, last thing, when you put it onto the dock, it will charge if the dock is plugged in. However, you can also charge it here by getting the charging cable and plugging it in, right? So essentially the dock serves as a medium between the charging cable and the Switch, but you can also just, you know, if you want to charge it on the go without the dock, you can plug it in. That's basically it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.